Whisper words of pity and let pity hear. Oh yeah, what up everybody? It's Monday and I don't even know what's going on with the show. What is going on with the show, everybody? What are you doing? What's happening in your neck of the woods? What's happening in your neck of the woods? I don't know. I'm going to see if anybody from the early chat's going to figure out if the show is live yet or not. I didn't alert them. I didn't alert them that the show is live, so let's see if they actually show up. Who knows? They might just be in there chatting in the early chat. Wondering what's going on, and so am I. Yeah. Hopefully everybody's here, having a great Monday. I'm having a weird Monday. It is super weird, and I don't know if anybody noticed the title of today's stream. The title of today's stream is the title important, Bitty Brown? Come here. Come here, Bitty Brown. Peanut Brows. Come here. Come here. No? All right. Tried to get the dog to come show up. I don't know. I don't even know. I tried to get the dog to show up, but the dog didn't want to. Hey, man. Oh, the dog's floppy. I wish I had a... Oh, man. Maybe I should hook up a dog cam. I should hook up the dog cam one of these days. I wonder if I could... Hold on a minute. Let me see if I can do this. Let me get... Hold on a second. I got to turn on the other camera. Oh, can I even do it here? Add source. Oh, devices, video. Yeah, maybe the other one. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the dog camera's live. What's on my desk? Is there any contraband? I don't see any contraband. Hello. Let's see if I get the dog cam. Hey, come off here. Doggy cam. What's that dog doing down there? What is that dog? That dog is flopped out like 100%. Hey, you floppy dog, what are you doing? Well, so much for extra content today, you guys. Let me turn off the dog cam. There we go. All right. Was that fun? I don't know. I had a good time doing it, so I don't know if anybody else thought it was fun. But that's the dog. The dog is over there, flopped out, just relaxing. Can't even handle it. Mr. Chips is outside. He can't handle it either. It's hot out. It's summertime. The dogs are going wild, and, you know, that's how it is. What's up, chat? How's everybody doing? How's all the subscribers doing? Hope everyone's doing great. William Hernandez, first to the chat today. I know you're not here because you said you had to go. And you'll check it out next time. I see V-Stag in the chat, John Gonzalez, Bentley Pascal, Wushu, Jimmy Brown, Oddball Aquatics, Licks Nibbles, Enoch Sound, James Neesham, Gareth Doyle, Chad Krotz, Daryl Deemer. I hope I said it right this time. Maxwell Sonneman's here. Don't double up. Everybody was chatting, talking about Substrate before the show got started. I'm running out of... Oh, man, everybody was just chatting like crazy. Huge J-Mac is here also. Gone Mad. What's up, Eric? Good to see you. Wheezy is here. Wheezy says, look out for stolen planes over your head. Yeah, over the weekend, if anybody knows about that, right in my neck of the woods, somebody stole an airplane, flew it around, and then crashed it into an island over there. No, that's actually not very far from me. I know some of my local homies are talking today on Facebook about the wreckage being removed because they live right near it. But it's a ways off from me out there in the Sound. I don't live in the Puget Sound myself. I don't live on an island. Very sad story. Apparently a hombre that just didn't want to do it anymore. There's been a lot of jokes about it, and I get it, but let's not forget the sad side of it that the poor guy wanted to end it all. And, you know, as I normally say to that, and when somebody's feeling that way, my response is almost always, hey, why don't you just make some changes? It's way easier. It's way easier to just make some changes in your life. Why not pursue something totally crazy, like trying to become a professional aquascaper? Why not? Hey, there's a crazy idea. I don't know. Start a YouTube channel. Try to become a professional aquascaper. Get prepared. Put on your boots and get ready to travel around all over the place. Sorry, guys. I'm very excited today because I spent some time at the hospital, and I'm pretty excited because it turns out Vicky's okay. She had something going on with her hand this morning. Like, she just couldn't get her hand to figure it out. And as you guys know, we have a baby on the way. We've got a beautiful baby girl on the way, and if I was excited before, I want to tell you guys something. I'm excited now about our baby girl. It's going to be awesome possum. I'm so excited. We were at the hospital today, and we ran into some little kids, and I was like, man, these kids are awesome. Hopefully my daughter's at least half as awesome as these kids, because they were having a great time. And, we had to talk about, we had a discussion in regards to muffins and scones. What's the difference, man? What's the difference? What is the difference? It's confusing, right? You're like 5 years old, you don't know what a scone is, and there's some weird dude at the hospital explain it to you with your mom. I don't know. We were all waiting in line for coffee, so it was kind of cool. But I'm very excited that the baby girl is doing fine. We got to listen to her heartbeat today, which is always so cool. It is almost the it's about as cool as it gets, you know what I mean? Like, Vicky's being a human submarine carrying around our baby, and it's really cool to get to listen to the baby's heartbeat and stuff, and I'm pretty excited. I just hope to do my best for her, and I hope that she is just healthy, That's all I'm asking. Is that too much? I don't know. Hopefully I'm going to teach her stuff, but, as Matt Sorelli says, you're going to need some earplugs. Yeah, I bet she'll probably cry and stuff like that, but, that stuff's all fine and dandy, and I can't hear very well anyhow, so too much rock and roll and jackhammering and sawing things and standing in kitchens for decades. If you've ever been to a commercial kitchen, it's very loud in there, and it ruins your hearing. That's one thing that I learned from being a chef for a really long time. It ruins your hearing and your back and your knees and all that good stuff too, which is awesome. So, it's just a good thing, learning, right? Alio Cat says, abused tired puppy. I don't know. Biddy Brown is so far from abused. She is not abused. She's just chilling and relaxing and doing her thing. Scottish Aquatic says, you're coming to record with Corey, right? Record what? With Corey? I don't know. No? Yes? I don't know. I don't know what that question is. But what's up? What's up, Scottish Aquatics? I see Schwisky Vision in the chat. It's good to see my man, Jimmy, in the chat. Nick's Fish Room's here. Zombie Drummer, always good to see you. Nisi of the North says, the title means off to visit the Weirdo of the North clan and cheer loudly with this random lady Saturday. Yeah, I'll be, Luckily, Saturday we'll be able to go hang out with Nisi and Doug. And because the big, I guess the county fair is on in Alaska. I don't know. But we checked it out last year. It was fun last year. It'll be fun this year. So hopefully it'll be good. But it'd be good to see those guys in person and have all that kind of good stuff going on. Brian Davis says he's getting a new 210-gallon aquarium next week. Can't wait to get that beast set up. Yeah, I understand. I feel your pain. I've got a 120 out there I need to get set up immediately, and I don't have time. People are wondering, what does my travel schedule look like? My travel schedule looks like I'm gone for a week, then I'm gone for a week, then I'm gone for a week. So that's pretty much how it goes. I believe when I get back from Alaska, I think we land at midnight Monday night. So Tuesday morning, we're going to get back here, and then Wednesday morning I leave for Germany. So I'm basically home for a day, and then I got to go away. And then we're gone for a week, and then I land for 3 days, and then we go to Minnesota, So I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff going on. I'm crazy busy. We've been to the hospital even today. There's lots of bizarre stuff going on, and all the travel and everything is just kind of piling up. So I don't know. Seems like August is going to be the month of not a lot of content out of this guy, because I just, to be brutally honest with you guys, I don't have any way to edit on the road. I just don't. I just don't have any way to edit on the road. So, I don't know. I've been scraping my pennies together to try and find something that is, like, would work. You know what I mean? And it seems like everything that would work is like $2,000. So that's just a mind scramble if you've ever been down that road before, of like, I want to try and figure something out, and then it's like, oh my god, it's just gonna be nuts to try and even make that work or happen. And it's just a reality of the thing. So it is what it is. Voira says, I have tinnitus. It sucks. Yes, I have tinnitus too. Sometimes it gives me migraines, which is super awesome. I'm way into that. I don't know if you guys noticed, during one of the streams, like about 2 weeks ago, I got a migraine in the middle. In the middle of the stream. It started coming in. I don't know if anybody ever goes back to watch old live streams or whatever. It doesn't seem to be the case. If people do, then YouTube is saying that you don't. But if anybody goes back and actually finds that, where it's like I start squinting a lot and just kind of getting like, well, I gotta. I think I covered it up pretty good. I think I covered it up pretty well, and I don't think people really noticed it, but it happened, and it was a thing. Oh my gosh, your super chat. It's been a while since I've seen those. Kevin Hayes says, oh, hey guys, long time no see. Kevin, it has been way too long. I'm going to be out in your neck of the woods fairly soon, out in Minnesota. I know that you don't live in Minnesota, but it's much closer than the West Coast. Maybe you can come out and say howdy, and we can hang out and go karate chop the woods or something. It's probably going to be cold out there. Speaking of cold out there, we're going up to Alaska, and I realized that my current attire is not going to work very well, because it's like 100 degrees out down here. Obviously, this last weekend it cooled down a little bit, but it's already like 80 something out there outside, and here's the thing, is that the high is going to be 59 up in Alaska where we're going. So it's going to be pretty cool up there. It's going to be like cool, you know what I mean? Well, first of all, Alaska is cool. I don't think I'd ever want to live up there personally. I think the biggest thing with us not I think the biggest thing is with us like not wanting to move up to Alaska is that almost everybody I know, whether they do really well up in Alaska or do really poorly up in Alaska, they end up getting stuck. Like they end up getting stuck, and it's almost the same thing of all the people that I know that like live in Hawaii, for instance, right? You go to Hawaii, you're doing pretty well, everything's going good, and then like moving back to the mainland is like something that most people want to do after a couple of years, right? And then they can't afford to do it. They're just like, I can't afford to do it. It's like that's pretty much the same thing that happens in Alaska. Even if you're doing well up there, it's like you can't even sell off the stuff that is doing well. Like let's say you go up there, you start a business, it's doing really well. There's no one to sell it to. There's like, and then let's say you go up there and you're super broke, then you can't move away because you're super broke. But you know, but I love going up there to visit and help out with all the work that needs doing up there. We'll be up there working and building a couple. I'll be up there building a couple barns, and the ladies will be up there doing lady stuff, having fun, and yeah. So it's gonna be a good times because I actually get Vicky Toria is gonna come along. It's gonna be basically both of us going up there. I'm gonna be obviously doing a lot of work, but Vicky will be there and hanging out and having a great time. She's, you know, honestly, you know, it's good for her to be up there and do a little bit of travel before she's too pregnant and we have too much of a baby here. So it's a good opportunity, and so we're going to take it while we can, because we were going to do some traveling later on this year, and that ended up getting canceled because of the baby, you know. So it was really, you know, it was like, well, we might as well take the opportunity to at least go up while we can and have a good time, you know, and check it out. Nisi says 2 years, 9 months, and 2 weeks until we launch out of here. Stuck is so true. Yeah, it's one of the unfortunate things. Like, Alaska is amazing. It's a great place. But yeah, just one of those things. Like, everybody I know that has gone up there and done really well, they can't leave because they're doing really well, and then they can't even like get out of what they're doing. You know, like one of my buddies is an ice road trucker. Like, he drives from the south end, or no, where does he drive from? Okay, wherever he drives from, he goes all the way up to Prudhoe Bay and then back down south again. And they wanted to move back to the States, but there's like no one that could buy out his little trucking business. Like no one could buy it out, you know. Like, maybe they wanted to buy the business, but they wouldn't buy the truck. And so, like, he would end up like having to bring the truck down here. I don't know. It's all this weird ins and outs of nonsense, but you know, those guys are doing great, and he's just like, well, it's just kind of gonna have to stay until I pay everything off, and then I can just leave then, basically. And then I was like, how long you got to do that for? He's like, 9 years. Like, oh God, you could have a doctorate. You know, 9 years, he could be a doctor. That's all I'm saying. You know, he could be Dr. Acula. You know what I mean? Iceland has a lot to answer for. Why? Trying to catch up with the chat here. 59-degree highs are swimming weather in Alaska from Sol Good. I like that. I like that name. That's good. Yeah, I guess it is swimming weather. I will say, last time we were up in Alaska, it was like high 80s and stuff like that. It was quite warm up there, but yeah, it's gonna be nice and chill, which is good. I'm so tired of this hot weather, honestly. I'm just not used to it, and it's been hot everywhere I've gone, and I'm kind of over it at this point, which, I don't know, it's weird to say, because a lot of people out there are like, dude, I love the hot weather, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm kind of over it. I like it to do in little bursts. You know what I mean? Which is, you know, I'm from Western Washington, so I got pretty thick blood, and I don't want it to be all super hot. What did I miss in the chat here? Nick's Fish Room says, I'm broke and still patronizing. I do appreciate that, guys. I'm gonna answer some of the Patreon stuff today because I'm gonna be gone. You know, so I'm going to do my best to answer the Patreon questions and posts and stuff like that while I'm out on the road, because I can at least do that from my phone, but it is a disaster trying to utilize my phone on the road. It ain't great. You know, we went overseas, and it really doesn't even work anywhere overseas, even though they say it would be turned on. They were wrong. So I'm going to try a different thing this time when I go overseas, which will be, I'll just go buy a card, the international card, and see if I can't just drop that in there and do it and get it done. Ed's Fish says, so like 3 weeks, no stream, or 2? It's going to be quite a while. You know, it might even be 3 weeks. I can't guarantee anything, you know, for you guys at this point, because I'm going to be gone, and that's just the way it's going to be. I'm just not going to be here You know, and somebody was asking earlier if we have fish sitters. Yes, we have 2 house sitters that will be here while we're gone. 1 male, 1 female. Yes, we have 2 house sitters that'll be here. One of them will be helping out with some of the yard work, and then the other one will be taking care of the animals and stuff. So it actually works out pretty well. You know, it's an extra cost thing, but it is 100% like you just gotta do it. Dan Squires says, then baby. No, the baby is due in November, so we're about 3 months away. She's due in like the middle to late November, so we're about 3 months away from baby time. And then baby will be here. Hopefully I'll have the new studio built by then, which is actually going to be in the basement. But who knows, man? It's just going to be the deal. Dovi Dosa says, don't sweat the strain. There's nothing worse than a live chat with someone who was hungover from too many hours on a plane. Yeah, that's... I would... 100% agree with you that, you know, jet lag is wonky and makes people weird. They do some weird stuff. Dan Squires just posted a baby registry. Oh, thanks, brother. That's our baby registry right there. People asked, a lot of people were bugging us for it, so we, okay, when I say we, I mean Vicky put it all together. I put a couple of things on there, kind of some dude stuff. I put a tactical dude baby vest on there, and I don't know. But I recently realized that I know a guy that owns one of those companies that makes those like tactical baby gear stuff. And so I was trying to hit him up for some baby gear, and then I'd be like, yeah, man, I'll make YouTube videos about it. And he was like, yeah, cool, man, I'll give you a 10% discount. And I was like, yeah, no. I'm like, I got a really cool baby backpack that has nothing to do with tactical gear already from the Oceaneers. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and rock that instead. Never mind. You know what I mean? So Kyle's asking, do you have a name for the baby yet? Yes, we do. Michael Olivia. You know, that's her name so far, and it really has stuck. So I think that's probably what we're going to end up calling her. Yes, the spelling is a little bit different because it's a female spelling of Michael, and then Olivia will be her middle name, and then Karate Wizard will be her last name, I think. Right? Probably something like that. Maybe Thunder, Lightning, and Floods will be her last name. I don't know. Just whatevs. You know, whatevs. Right. Oh my God, I missed a super chat from the zombie drummer at $15.87. Super chat for super chat's sake. Thanks for the MTS. Multiple tank syndrome, if you don't know what MTS is. Or Malaysian trumpet snails. Or... well, I can't say that one. That one's not legit. I don't know, but you know what I mean. Let me check out what the chat here. Enoch Sounds, sleep deprivation. I suffered for that for the 12 years I was in the Army. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you'll definitely get that, you definitely get that sleep deprivation on the, in the Army, that's for sure. That's like one of their training tactics. Dan Squire says to check out the wonderful Patreon community. We'll be checking in with them in a second and posted the link there. If you're wondering what the Patreon is, it's our third-party crowdsourcing to be able to keep the shows coming and stuff like that, travel around, do all that kind of stuff, and try and shoot videos for you guys. I do realize that, you know, I had a talk recently with some of the powers that be of the world or whatever, you know, and it was like, you know, definitely uploading a lot of content, and, you know, it's unfortunate to say this, but the return has not been that great. And I think everything is good. I want to remind everybody that everything is good. I'm not going to stop doing the channel or anything like that. It's going to keep going. But the month of August is going to be kind of lackluster as far as I'm concerned, as content getting up, enough as many videos as I would normally want to get up and stuff like that. But that's just because I'm going to be traveling, and it is an opportunity to kind of like test it out and see what happens. You know, it already so far, like I'm unhappy with the performance of like not. So far, I'm unhappy with the performance of the channel with like not doing anything. Or not doing anything, but doing less, like uploading less videos and stuff like that. Like so far, I'm unhappy with it. Like I would like to just, at the very least, just go, you know, at the very least, I would like to stay where I was before, where I go like, yeah, I understand. Like I don't have 100,000 or 1,000,000 subscribers or any of that kind of stuff, but the ones that I do have are engaged and they're a part of this community. So I feel like I would rather have the smaller group of subscribers that are actually like engaged, right? Than just being like, I want to have 1,000,000, you know, and no one ever watches the stuff. Because I've definitely seen a couple of channels that I follow, and I'm not calling anybody out, but I've definitely seen some channels that I follow go from, you know, 8,000 subscribers, and then suddenly overnight they have 108,000 subscribers, strangely enough. I've seen a lot of people do that, and then the videos that they post still only get like 1,000 views, which is like, like, hey man, it's kind of indicative that you bought fake subscribers if they don't watch any of your content, right? Right? Because it, you know, it should be, realistically, it should come out to be about 15 to 20% of your subscribers will actually watch what you put up, because 80% are just inundated with too many notifications, or they never even get the thing, you know, even know that you even uploaded anything, because maybe they bought one of those old Samsung phones and it just exploded and caught on fire. Who knows? Who knows why? I don't know why, but that's like what the typical thing is. And it's like, you know, if suddenly you have 120,000 subscribers or something and you only get 1,000 views, it's like something weird is going on here. Huh? So that's the thing I'm kind of mulling over, and that's something I'm definitely going to be thinking about while I'm in Alaska is, you know, what do I want to do, and then just keep doing it. Right? And then just keep hammering on it and going like, I just want to keep making the stuff I want to make. Now, I can say Jimmy, because Jimmy was in the chat. Hopefully he's still here. But I was mentioning to Jimmy kind of, there is a TV show that I watch that's not an American TV show. I think it's a British production, but I was watching it on Netflix. And I think most of the episodes are like between 10 and 7 years old. So a lot of it was like the episodes are older episodes, right? But I really like that form of production, and I think that's where my head is going of like what I want to do moving forward. I think that's more of a production that I want to do. I don't want to spoil it for you guys and like say what show it is or whatever. And then Schwisky already did. But that's sort of the style that I want to move towards in the future, I think. I think that's about 100% of where I'm at. But I don't know. Honestly, I'm just going to think about it while I'm up, you know, hitting things with hammers and sawing things with chainsaws and stuff like that while I'm up in Alaska, and figure it out. But yeah, Schwisky posted it in the chat, and so you could read it there if you want, but I'm not going to say it out loud. Shh. Shh. But you guys should definitely check out that show if you like actual shows about show stuff. You know? Oh, Okay. Let me check out with my super chats here and see what's going on. Snowflake3981 says, can you go over the important things to do when taking down a tank for storage? Cleaning it, drying it out, storage, etc. I have 10 gallons to store. Okay. I can go over that in just a second. Let me say, Chad Krotz with a $2 super chat. I was pulling for Major for her name. Okay. That's good jokes. I like that. Oh my god. I was sitting on my foot. Sorry about that. I'm sitting on my foot. It was getting weird. So, let me answer this question of the important things to do when taking down a tank for storage. So, the first things first, clean all the algae off of the glass while it's still wet, because it'll be a nightmare if you just empty it and leave the algae on the glass. So you're going to have to clean the glass or the acrylic, whatever your tank's made out of. Maybe it's made out of plywood or cement. I don't know. Just want to include everybody. We don't want to not include everybody into the conversation, right? Maybe you got a cement tank and you're like, dude, you left me out, bro. And I'll be like, I'm sorry. But hopefully, that will be the deal. So you have to clean off all of the algae, that for sure. Take all the substrate out. What I typically do is I'll put it in like one of those big Rubbermaid totes. And I'll leave the top off of it and leave it in a room that has the dehumidifier in it. Because I want the substrate to dry out. If you close it, like if you close it up in a container with all that water and stuff, it'll get moldy and fungus and all sorts of crazy stuff going on in there. But realistically, the easiest way that I've found to do it is just to put it kind of maybe 5 inches deep or something like that into those Rubbermaid totes. I get them from the Home Depot. They're cheap. They really don't cost that much. And take that and let that dry out. Take all of your filter floss, all the filter media out of the filter itself. Whatever your filter is, you got to take it out. The ceramic rings, that kind of stuff can be dried out and reused later. I would normally recommend, for myself, what I would normally would do is take those ceramic rings and stuff and soak them in some bleach water, like overnight, and then let them air dry until they're completely dry. And that's kind of the best way. You want to sterilize that kind of stuff because, yeah, realistically, you go ahead and put it in a dark place. You might come back later and there's like, oh, well, you got some kind of weird mushrooms growing in the dark over here. Like, hey, man, what are all these weird mushrooms you got growing in this bin over here? And you're like, I don't know. It's like fish poop mushrooms from my filtered stuff. And the next thing you know, you got the FBI knocking down your door or whatever. No. But I would just rinse all of that stuff with the bleach. Whereas everything else, I would just clean with 50-50 water, warm water, and vinegar, white distilled vinegar. You want that cheap white distilled vinegar. That's the cheap and easy vinegar that you can get. Just wipe everything down and allow it to air dry. And then when you go to store your tank, if you have a glass tank, acrylic tank, anything like that, you want to store it upside down. Now, is this important? Yeah, that's why I mentioned it, because it's important, right? So you want to store it upside down, mainly so it doesn't collect all sorts of weird nonsense that falls in it. If you store your tanks outside, if you have acrylic tanks, you just want to make sure they're not sitting and getting blasted by the sun for no reason. Same thing with glass tanks. You don't want the silicone to be getting hit by the sun, so you just want to put something over it that blocks the light. It doesn't really matter what it is, but you want to store them upside down so that they don't collect all sorts of nonsense falling in them, like pine needles and leaves from trees and birds and all sorts of nonsense. Recently, I was talking to a buddy of mine, and this is kind of sad, and I don't know why I'm laughing about it, but there was a dead bird in his pond, and I was like, That's a drag. But that's also like an issue for that pond. It's going to be having a problem. I don't even know why there was a dead bird in there. I don't know. But, you know, yet another reason to like turn stuff upside down. You might end up finding a critter in there who may have fallen in and gotten stuck or something like that. And that's a drag. You know, if you find like a mouse or something that got jumped in there to see what was going on and then didn't realize it was made out of glass or whatever. But store it upside down, and I don't know. It's kind of the best advice I could give as far as just clean everything, put it away, store the tank upside down, and you should be pretty good to go. Voera says, bro, please. No, bro. Oh, bro. Come on, bro. No, bro. No. Ed's Fish says, any recommendations for ordering a Pseudomogil luminatus online? Wetspot wants a lot for shipping, and eBay won't sell them as male or female, so I can get 3 males and 6 females. Well, I'd say eBay is a great way to go, I guess, since they have like 9. But the Wetspot is my favorite place to order fish from. If I'm gonna get them like shipped to me, the Wetspot is my first go-to. So I don't know how much they would be charging you for shipping. I'm not very far from the Wetspot, so they don't charge a ton because the overnight to here is only like what was it? I think it was like $16 or something like that. I don't know. And I think it was like $16 or something like that. So I'm not sure how much they were going to charge you. I think anywhere in the continental United States, I think the most I've seen it at was like $60. So I don't know. Maybe you're like far off. I don't know really the situation. But if eBay is going to be the way to go, I never order fish off of eBay because I just don't trust it. You know, because basically anybody can start an eBay account and that kind of stuff. I just don't. I'm just not into it. I'm just not into it that way. Enix says, I found a dead mouse in my 75 when I pulled it out of storage. Yeah, you definitely want to store your tanks upside down. It's going to be the best way. Ed's Fish says $50 is the shipping. Sounds like I need to bite the bullet on that one. I personally would if it's something that you really want, or I would just keep an eye out for the local. Somebody get something local coming in. And maybe you could actually go to your local fish store and be like, hey man, can you guys bring in, this is the fish I'm looking for. Have you seen it on your fish list? Is this something that you could import and get in? That would be the other way that I would go, other than like if I was just going to order some fish from somewhere and have them come in from, I would order from the Wetspot personally, but they would what happened? Or I would just go to the local fish store and be like, is this something that you can bring in? You know, and have them get them in, and then just buy them from this local store. Jeffrey Tharp with a $2 super chat. Does CO2 need to be food grade? Good luck in Alaska. Food grade CO2, I don't know what that means, because all the pressurized CO2 is just pressurized CO2. Maybe you mean food grade, the lines. It's probably the airlines what you're talking about. The actual lines used to move the CO2 around. That doesn't necessarily need to be food grade. It doesn't really have to, because it's you're not using it for food. So not going to be that big of a deal. But normally in America, if you're buying it in the States, the CO2 line and airline and stuff like that will be a better quality, be a higher quality product if it is food grade. That's typically what that would mean. Is it would be like buying something that's commercial versus residential, and that would probably be the deal. The deal with that. I'm hoping that answered your question. I hope I didn't misunderstand it and you were trying to ask something else. I don't know. But no, it doesn't need to be food grade. You can pretty much, John Gonzalez says they have food grade CO2. Oh, okay. I've never seen that personally, and having run restaurants for a really long time, I don't know. I've never seen a difference. Like all of the pop and beer CO2 tanks were all the same. It's the ones I use. Other than the gigantic ones. We use those gigantic ones at a lot of restaurants, which, you know, other than that. But no, we never bought anything that was like special CO2. I've never seen that, so I will look that up and see if that's like something that's super awesome. Oops. There we go. Let me Googleify this. Food grade versus industrial CO2 from 2008. Oh. Some say CO2 is CO2. It's all the same thing, so get the cheapest stuff you can get your hands on and start drinking instead of worrying. Some say food grade CO2 is more pure than industrial grade, and even go so far as to say that industrial grade is so contaminated it can cause serious, irreversible health problems like cancer and respiratory failure. Huh. Finally, just went out to the first place I could find. 5 aluminum tank, da-da-da-da-da. I'm going to see if anybody actually even... Oh, here we go. Yeah, here we go here. Ow. Here's a decent answer here. Just spoke to my CO2 supplier. He said that there are only a few national CO2 suppliers that provide the gas to local retailers, which sounds probably pretty realistic. There probably isn't that many people doing CO2 in the States. All of his CO2 cells, either commercial or food grade, come from the same supply, and that in his opinion, the sale of food grade CO2 is a gimmick to upcharge. Okay. I guess it's kind of a mixed bag thing. I guess I'll have to go talk to somebody. Oh, okay. Here's the big difference. So, okay, here it is. Here's the actual answer here. They clean aseptic the tank they use to store it so that the CO2 and food grade CO2 was exactly the same gas. The difference was the manipulation cleaning of the tank. But he also told me that CO2 was so cold that nothing could live in there anyway. Yeah, which is realistically a good... I think that's probably a good deal right there, because I know that from all the scuba stuff, when you had to get your tanks filled, you had to get them checked and cleaned. So a good buddy of mine used to be a commercial scuba underwater welder dude, and he was down working in Florida for a bunch of years, and he developed this weird fungus in his lungs, and they said that it came from the tanks. Was what they said that it was from, but it was either from one of two things. Now, it was either from his regulator equipment, because he was breathing in the air. It was either from his regulator equipment, or it was from the tanks. Now, the follow-up is that later on, they found out that the tanks were being cleaned, so it probably was from something else. So, yeah, maybe that's the big difference, is that they're just cleaning the tanks differently. But like I said, unless you're really, really, really breathing it in yourself, I don't think it would be really, you know, I don't know. I don't know if that would really like have anything to do with it because, you know, as I said, you know, it's one of those weird things that, you know, even when we were running, you know, I used to run a big beer brewery, which is not around anymore, but the CO2 that we got there wasn't even anything special for it. When that whole place was very much running off of the CO2 to have the beard, but the beer work properly. But cleaning the kegs, cleaning all the other equipment was wildly important, you know. Was wildly important, and the gas was never really an issue, except for the diazotol and that kind of stuff. But that, you know, I don't know. I just wouldn't. I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't be that stressed out about it for a fish tank. I mean, you're basically just, you know, infusing it in. You know, you're basically dissolving it into the water so that the free carbon is in the water column so the plants can uptake it. I just really wouldn't be worried about it. You know, I'll look into it because now my interest is piqued and I really want to know. I'm going to start looking into it and send out some emails and stuff and see what I can come up with. If there's ever been a problem of using non-food grade CO2, and we'll see what comes out of it. I'll send it off to some of the smart fellers I know that do a bunch of crazy stuff like brewing beer and all the food production and stuff like that, and I'll see what they say. But, you know, never seen it. Ed's Fish says he loves that guy. Which guy? Oh, Rumbus has got to go to bed. We got a super chat from Rumbus. It's 1553. Never know. He always says his mysterious Swedish Krone's number. And I never understand. Except for once in July when it was, like, obvious that it was the date. But I never really know. I'm confused. KG Cichlid says Dutch oven gas is harmful. That's right. Dutch oven gas is harmful, that's for sure. If mature reef tanks use regular CO2 in their calcium reactors, I'm sure it's okay for freshwater. That's a good point, Ed. Yeah, I've never, you know, I understand that there's like different grades of things and stuff, but I don't know. I'll look into it. I'll look into if there's ever been anybody that really come up with anything and let you guys know. Daniel's Keeping Fish says, got to go to bed early start. We'll watch the rest later. Safe trip to all the Corvus caravan. Thanks, Edmund. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks for coming out, bro. Very much, bro. Bro. Hey, bro. Bruh. But either way, let me catch up with the chat here a little bit and see what else is going on. I think I'm caught up. I don't know. I'm trying to look through it. It is interesting, though. Oh, Goon Fuse is here. What's up, man? What's up? Happy Monday. Whoa. Oh, well, let's go on to the Patreon questions. We have just a couple of questions today. And we might as well run through them because I want to get to them. And, yeah, I feel like 3:48 in the afternoon is a good time to do it. Right? Our first post here from Vince Grippa. Look at this. He's got a nice pocket screws going. This is a little simple shelf deal here, but he actually took the time to do the pocket screws properly. I appreciate that. It says, when I started doing water changes, the filter on the right was still white. Then, while during the fourth tank fill, the filter caught something super nasty. Hashtag push filter save fish. Look at that. So as you guys can see, he's got the carbon. He's got a carbon filter in here and just a sediment micron filter, which, you know, you never really know what can pop in via your local water supply. It looks like it goes around to the back, and then he's got a deionizing back here also. But let's just focus on these main two right here. But it is very useful to have a nice push filter to grab stuff like this. Like, you know, we could sit here and have conjecture about, like, well, what is that? I mean, it could just be from them opening up the like a fire hydrant down the street or something, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But it might have been something super weird. You know, it might have been something that could have messed with your fish and stuff like that. Oftentimes, the carbon does a lot for removing a lot of nasties that come in through your water, and the DI normally does the last thing. So, Vince, this looks great, and I'm glad to hear that it's definitely helping you out. As you guys know, I operate a push filter here because I have pretty clean water. I don't need to I don't need to use the reverse osmosis portion of like a 4-stage filter. I just do a 3-stage filter here. You know, the main reason to not use, or the main reason to use the RO out in the world where everyone else is to push all those salts and all that crazy stuff that ends up in the water. It ends up pushing that, and that's what that wastewater is. But my water here is pretty darn clean, so I'm basically just looking for, you know, random particulates, all sorts of nonsense that come through, and then of course chloramines and chlorine and stuff like that. I also use Safe in conjunction with mine because Safe is super cheap, lasts a really long time, and it's just more bang for your buck, right? Sorry about that. I forgot to grab the other mouse. I forgot to grab the other mouse. And I gotta click a button on the other computer. There we go. Shh. Be quiet over there, other computer. Can you guys hear Biddy Brown? She's snoring back here. Hold on. Hold on a second. I don't know why I'm being quiet when I was just yelling. All right, we're going back to the dog cam. You guys, we're going to go ahead and turn on the dog camera here. Oops, that's the wrong button. Let's turn on the other one. And we're engage dog camera. This ain't easy to do. Hold on, why don't we focus? Oh, is it on manual focus? What's this thing doing? Focus. Okay, the dog cam's not working because it's not focusing. Let me see what I can do here. Let me see what I can do while we don't wake the dog. Let's try to not wake the dog. It's all blurry. I know. Hold on. I got to video input, camera control. Is the focus? Let me see. I'm gonna have to go manual here. Oh, there we go. Now we're focused. Oh my god. She's snoring with her tongue sticking out. Oh. She's snoring with her tongue sticking out. Oh, this is like my favorite part of the show, you guys. This is definitely my favorite part of the show. We captured the Biddy Brown dog snoring with her tongue out. Oh, she may have detected us. Nope, she's still snoring. Still snoring. And yeah. So, we'll go back to what we were doing, guys, and we'll let the dog do her thing. Dog cam complete. Yeah. Well, as you guys know, Biddy Brown is one of our lovely dogs here. Mr. Chips, last I checked, was outside rumbling around in the dry grass out there, and he had a bunch of what looked like hay sticking out of his mouth. I don't know what he was doing out there. He's doing something. I don't know. But I like the little dog cam feature. That's super fun. I'm going to have to, like, install a camera down low, you know, see if I can't catch him napping. She is precious. She is a very precious dog. We love her very much, and she's a bit brown. Karen D just showed up. What's up, Karen? Crazy Legs. Oh, yeah. Let's see. KG Siglis says Prime has a slime coat and Safe does not. If no one knows, slime coat. Yeah, don't worry about slime coat. Just use Safe. Prime's a waste of money, honestly, in my opinion. You guys notice I used Prime for years and years, and then they came out with the dry formula Safe, and I'm like, dude, yeah, this is a no-brainer. And yes, it doesn't have some of that weird additives of the slime coat and this and that that Prime has, but the slime coat should just come back on your fish, no problem. If they're healthy, it's not that big of a deal. And I don't even know why the slime coat would be gone, you know, to be honest with you. You'd have to have some pretty unhealthy fish, you know. Ed says that sulfur in the prime smells amazing. Yeah, safe smells really funky too. You know. Stephen Pope says, don't you ever do a Victoria cam during nap time. She'd beat you. Yeah, that's a good point. She would. I'm probably going to do baby cam, actually, come to think of it. We'll probably do baby cam instead of puppy cam. I don't know. I'll probably do baby cam. That's probably the better way to go. You know what I mean? Right? Baby cam would be better. Oh my God, Mellow Moogle is here. It's been like so many years, Mellow. Miss Nishijima. Where have you been? So busy. It's good to see you on a Monday, and then I'm going to be leaving town. So, you know. Aqua Freedom sent in, should I still use water conditioner if I have no chlorine showing up in my tap water? The reason I ask is I would rather not, because I don't want it to remove any of the ferts that I'm putting in, or am I wrong? Any help is appreciated. Thanks, man. All right, well, here's the deal. Yes, I certainly would. I would still use safe for sure. Mainly because unless you have 100% certainty that wherever your water's coming from, which I've even known people with well water have wild variances in their water from time to time, just on the basis of like what's going on. Now, if I was on a well, to be brutally honest, I probably wouldn't be that concerned about it. But if I was on city water of any kind, I don't trust those guys. I don't trust those guys at all. And it's not because I have an issue with them. It's just that they don't have to report anything that's not going to affect humans. Human consumption is what they are supposed to be reporting on, right? So I don't know if you've ever weighed yourself against a fish. I don't know how many fish I equal. I don't know how many rummy-nosed tetras I equal, or bristlenose plecos, or whatever, you know. I'm a lot of fish, and so the toxicity level needs to be way off the charts to affect a person. So I wouldn't trust them. I just wouldn't trust them to even tell you, because it's not because there's anything wrong with them. It's just that they don't need to tell you until it's so highly elevated that that's just the way that I would go. And as far as removing any of the fertilizers you're putting in, just don't be concerned about that. So the active life for prime and safe is essentially between 8 and 12 minutes. So if you were really worried about the dechlor or water conditioner or whatever you want to call it, if you had a real problem with what was going on, if that was going to be pulling the fertilizers out, you just wait 15 minutes and then put your fertilizers in. That's going to be realistically. And so that's why I wouldn't be concerned. I just really wouldn't be worried about that. There are some fertilizers out there that will have issues with dechlorinating and that kind of stuff. But like I said, all you have to do is just wait about 15 minutes and you're good. It's not really going to be a big deal after that. So that's what, so that would be my takeaway in regards to that. Hopefully that helps you out. But I would just continue to use safe just because it's so cheap and it just lasts so long. I would just add a little bit in when you're doing your water change, and pretty simple. And then just put the ferts in later, just 10 minutes later or 15 minutes later. Add them all. Oh, I know why. I was out sweating in the hot sun. I was wondering why I'm all itchy. Daniel Sherry. Wow, he painted it. He did it. He's got the 20-gallon 3-tier rack sanded and stained. The color Jara to match the cabinet it's sitting next to. Very happy with the look. Decided to wrap it, but once the rest of the racks are built so I can join them in one long wrap. Yes, I will 100% agree with that. If you guys are going to put in multiple racks, do what I'm doing right now and make sure that you, join them all together with the wrap or the trim or any of that kind of stuff and make sure they're all at the same level. This looks great. As you guys know, this got finished a couple weeks ago, and then it was like, man, I really feel like you should do something with it. And obviously just throwing a coat of stain on there is just not too crazy of a task. It's something that pretty much anybody could pull off and get it done. And it looks so much better than it did. It's just a wild improvement and not a ton of work or anything crazy like that. Dominique Nadeau chiming in today saying, hi, community. After binge watching like 10 live streams in a row while gaming, decided to join in with the community. I am so thrilled. Well, thank you very much. We got a brand new patronizer here today. Dominique Nadeau. I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. I'm just the worst. But Dominique, I know how to say that part. But thanks for joining the community. Love it. Yes. Oh, hold on. I got some in my eye. I don't know what it was. My finger? I think it was my finger. We got a super chat here. We got to deal with. It's from Daniel Squires, one of our moderators. £5 super chat. Oh my gosh, coming all the way from overseas. It's so wild. It's so wild, my guy. You're over on the other side of the ocean, on the other side of the planet. Could buying a few secondhand dehumidifiers be a cheaper alternative to RODI? No consumables needed. Would 5 produce up to 100 liters, 26 gallons a day? Depends on the dehumidifier and then what you set it to. If you set the dehumidifier all the way down to 40% or something like that, so it's just pulling all the water out of the air all the time, you probably could make up for it. And you could probably be making a good amount of water condensed down. There is a possibility that would be a decent way to go, but personally, I think I would bite the bullet and get a water filter first, mainly because you kind of know what you're getting with the water filter. You kind of don't know what you're getting with a secondhand dehumidifier. The last dehumidifier I bought was a good amount of money. It was about $200. It wasn't that cheap. It was a couple $100, but it is still just a portable unit, so it is pretty easy to move around and stuff. But it definitely, it definitely does consume electricity. It certainly uses electricity, so you're not getting away with nothing. Realistically, you're not realistically getting away from there being no consumable at all. You're still consuming electricity, and that's going to cost money or energy or the environment or whatever, however you want to look at it. I mean, I know that Dan personally doesn't have an electric bill, but most people do. Most of us adults do, Daniel. But you still are consuming something to some degree. Even if you don't pay for it, it's still something is being consumed. Electricity is being used, so that is happening. But I would think I would just go with a Rode unit, mainly because I know what I was getting, and save up and get a good dehumidifier, and then figure out what your dehumidifier does for you. It might not work all that well in the space that you have, for whatever reason. I mean, obviously, I'm just kind of spitballing here to try and figure out if, maybe it doesn't work well for some reason or whatnot. There are a lot of days that my dehumidifier is just really not pulling any water out of the air, for numerous reasons, temperature or whatever, outside ambient temperature, blah, 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 any of that kind of stuff. So I would take that into consideration, that you wouldn't necessarily be counting on it all the time. But yeah, I think I would just go with the Rode so that I would know what was going on, and go that way. Dan Squires with the follow-up says his walls sweat without it, so it's essential. Okay, then I would save up and go with a new dehumidifier. That's what I might do. Because let's say that a good RODI unit is about $150 pretty much, like a good one. There are some cheaper ones, but a decent one, I would go with about $150, and you could definitely get a new dehumidifier for that much in the States. I don't know what it's like overseas. It might not be working all that well overseas, but it definitely is something. Oh, okay. So he's doing his top offs with it right now. So that works. Aqua Freedom says, thanks. That helped. Well, thank you. I mean, that's the thing. Thank you. You know? What? Oh, hold on. My alarm's going off. Oh, that's why. Gotta get my phone out of my pocket because the thing is going off. Uh-oh. Gotta check out. I got a text from a lady too. All right. Oh, good. We got some notification from the doctor that everything checks out. Cool. Yeah, like I said earlier, like her hand was just like asleep or something, so they didn't really figure out what was going on. I think they're just thinking that she has some swelling from, being pregnant. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Chef Hannibal says, do you measure safe for your water change? No, I don't. I really don't. I saw Steenfot the other day. It was like he was dumping some safe into his tank, and he's like, I don't measure this stuff. I don't care. I was like, mad respect, because I do the exact same thing. I'm like, I just shake some in there like I'm putting some Parmesan on my pizza. Scottish Aquatics says Aquascape Project, Shrimp Tank, or 125. I don't know, Scottish. I got a 180 here that's going to be ready here in a couple of minutes. I don't know when it's 2 weeks. We'll be ready in like 2 weeks, I think. Vora says maybe she slept on it accidentally. I think she slept on it or something, or maybe she has like some kind of, I don't know. But they ultrasounded her and all that stuff to find out if she had a blood clot, which nope, everything's fine. So that's good. So I got a Scottish is probably asking, I don't know, shrimp tank or a 125. Oh, for us to do an aquascape project, it'll be a while before I can do that. Honestly, it's gonna be, because I'm gonna be out of town pretty much for like 3 weeks. But I do have this 180 that I would say, I think if we were gonna like really, I don't know. Never mind. I don't know. I'm just gonna say I don't know, and then, yeah, I don't know, and then just move on. All right, we are coming up on the end of the show. The alarms was saying that, dudes, I got to get out of here because I have to go run an errand before I leave town. I got more packing to do. It's going to be chaos. I got to leave. We have to leave here at 4 a.m. tomorrow, I think, is when we leave. I don't know. But big shout out to Kevin Hayes. Thank you very much. Long time no see for the super chat. Zombie Drummer, always a big time supporter. Snowflake 3981. Muchas gracias. Chad Kratz, thank you much. Jeffrey Tharp. Dunka. Rumbust, my man, always being showing up and throwing down. I much appreciate it. Dan Squires, the moderator who super chats. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild, my guy. Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it. I hope everybody out there is going to have a great time. I'm going to be gone. I'm sad. I'm going to be gone. I'm sad. Hopefully, I got some final edits to try and do and get done with another video for the first little leg of while I'm gone. Hopefully, there's 2 videos coming out right now. There's only 1 edited, so that sucks. And the other one was going to be done this morning. I was going to finish that, but we had to go to the hospital. So, YouTube, Vicky Toria. Victoria is way up here, chippity top through the roof, you know. So we had to do that. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Go to Patreon, patronize. You know, gosh, I always feel like I'm on like some kind of NPR style fund drive around here. I'm sorry I'm always talking about Patreon. I'm sorry I'm always talking about Super Chats. I don't know. I just... Screw it. I love you guys, and I hope you have a fantastic time, and I don't want to go away, but I have to. I got to get rolling. So I'm going to be hollering at you guys later, but I hope you have a good time out there storming the castle. You might need a miracle. I don't know.